Hi everyone, we are back in the garden today. The last video I showed you the seed order that I received from Johnny's Seeds, and today I'm going to get those in the ground. Yesterday I sat on the log behind the garden and overlooked it and drew out a plan, and then I walked into the garden and threw that plan out the door. You can kind of see here on the ground where I have pulled the straw away and exposed the dirt underneath. I'm going to leave the straw and the walkways, and then where it's exposed I'm going to plant the seeds, and I have 4 sections planned out right now. We also have this old frame of the hoop coop still in here, and we're going to leave it here so we can revamp the frame of it and build it higher and bigger to have a greenhouse right here. But I think with it here and that project kind of on hold for now, I'm going to plant inside of it and kind of make it like a little secret garden. So we'll have tall on the outer edges and I think shorter on the inside, or it'll just be all really tall. I haven't decided quite yet, but I want to make it its own little garden space of its own with the cut flower seeds that I have. Now let's just go through the seeds, see which will be best where, and get to planting. Before I get the seeds going, I'm going to get this thyme in the ground that I started from seed. It's actually pretty rooted in at the bottom, even though it's kind of small. It's going to go right here, and let's get that planted and watered in so it can take up the whole garden space. Okay, the hole is dug. I'm gonna put a little bit of water down in there. These are pretty dry, but they got some nice roots, even for a little small plant like this in a big pot. Oh, too big. That's okay. There we go. I'll just get it all tucked in there. Some of it's gonna get buried, but that's okay. There we go. Now let's get on to the seeds. I'm gonna start in this patch here first, right as you come in from the garden. But in this little patch, I think I'm gonna do 3 rows of the Ivy Princess calendula. It's supposed to get 18 to 26 inches tall, and it takes 50 to 55 days to maturity. This is what the seeds look like. Kind of like little dried up worms. Whoa. Garden soil on top after I get the seeds in the ground. Okay, so in this area, I said I was gonna maybe just do like 3 rows of the calendula, but I think I'm just gonna sprinkle them in here. Okay, now I'm just gonna put a layer of this garden soil over the top and water it in. Planted, just threw down some calendula seed, covered it up with some soil, and then we'll water it later on because we'll have to water the whole garden. It hasn't rained good in the last few days, but then I finish the bag right there, and I'll spread it out, and then we'll lay down some more seed. And I'll probably work this area in by hand with some soil as well. We tilled this area once the first year that we were here, that we used this garden or tilled this garden. We don't till anymore because it doesn't really need it. I don't have a whole lot of weed pressure except for back there, but once I pull those, they'll be good. But if I was to till this up, it would just bring all the seed that's down in the ground to the surface to germinate and to grow, and then it would cause more weeds. So we're not doing that. We're just building the soil up. We have a bunch of good worms in here if we were to dig, and we just want to leave those and not kill them. So we don't till anymore. And we're gonna post the tiller for sale real soon, but I'm gonna get some more seeds in the ground. I think I figured it out. I think I have a shorter zinnia that's gonna go here with some celosia, and then in this middle one, some cosmos, probably in that back section, another kind of cosmos. And then, like I said, in this coop frame, I'm gonna plant in here, I think I'm gonna do the 3 kinds of amaranth I have. So one on this side, one on this side, and the tall one in the back. But that's what I have so far for the flower garden. I have some seeds started inside that I need to harden off and get them used to being outside before I can plant those up. Those are just some more zinnias. But the garden's coming along, getting a little bit done each and every day. There's the sheep and the geese. Had to go get another bag, and I have to say, whew, thanks Karen for the soil. You're helping grow, hopefully, a beautiful garden. Love you, sis. But that kind of gives you an idea of where they'll be, where the walkways will be, and how it's all laid out. So basically, that half of the garden is vegetables. This half will be flowers and herbs. Obviously, everything's subject to change because I laid that soil down before I put the seeds down. But it'll all hopefully grow the same. Okay, I have Parisian crest and straw flower right here. They're gonna go in that spot back there. One on one half, one on the other. It's kind of a smaller space, but I think they'll fit perfectly. And it'll be just fine. This is my first year doing cut flowers, so I'm not trying to stress myself out or overwhelm myself. Oh, he's watering the dirt. We'll have to fill it up with some more water and then you can have a turn. Okay? But let's get these planted. Okay, now in that front smaller section, I have these giant lime zinnias, this pompous plume celosia, and the cupcake blush cosmos. So I'm going to divide it up into 3 sections, and instead of doing rows that go this way, I'm just doing sections and just like doing clumps. Like I said, just a little this year, try it out, not get overwhelmed and not be completely devastated if it's a complete flop, which hopefully it's not. Okay, so I got that area planted. It goes cosmos, celosia, zinnias. And those are the cupcake blush, so they're like a light pink. That's a mix celosia, different colors, and then the lime green giant zinnias. I have this middle section left to plant with cosmos and zinnias. Yeah. Okay, so in this section, you can water these 2 sections right here, okay, Ray? So in this middle section that he's watering, all the way down there by my lettuce and stuff, I put in the salmon rose zinnias, and then the giant wine zinnias, and then I put the cosmos, the double click snow puffs, and then the double click mix. So those 4 areas, and this one down here that you can't see, is all planted. Now I need to get the area worked up in there for the amaranth. And I still have some basil seeds and some dill seeds that I need to work up some areas and get in the ground as well. But I think the basil is gonna go around the fencing in front of my tomatoes, and the dill, that still needs a spot. This little area right here, I have some okra planted, then tomatoes on the fence. Well, right in front of that okra, I threw in some of these borage seeds that I had, just because I think I've had them for a year or so, so I threw those in the ground right there. Now I have mammoth, Genovese, and lemon basil to get planted. And like I said, I think they're gonna go along this back fence with my tomatoes, and they'll go right up in front of the tomatoes. Okay, scratch that idea. I can't put it in front of the tomatoes along the back fence because I have that trellis of tomatoes back there that kind of meets up with it. Then I have squash planted there too, and if I were to plant something in front of those tomatoes, I wouldn't have much of a walkway to be able to get to the tomatoes, and I'd be stepping on plants or over plants. So we're gonna need to find a different spot for the basil. Okay, so I walked around the garden. Two so far. Okay, so after a brief break for lunch, and my goose, the one that's been sitting on eggs, she hatched 2 babies so far. But we're back to the basil, and I think for right now it's gonna go back here by the peppers at the end, and I'm just gonna do 3 small sections of all the basils. That's it. Watch out, bud. I'm trying to show them the little area that I worked up for the basil. That's all the space I'm going to do. And I'm going to seed it pretty heavily. I mean, I only have 3 small packets, so I think that space is just big enough for all of it. Now over here behind the wood frame that we have up, I just did maybe about a foot wide stretch to plant a good little patch of dill. There we go. Just half a handful and we still have a full bag. Today was a pretty productive day. The short little clips that I threw in here working in the garden, there was some work back in the woods digging up some honeysuckle, but I'm gonna throw in some stuff that we did yesterday and some interesting finds that we had, what we have growing in the woods that we're keeping, and stuff that is medicinal or edible that we're actually using, and then as well as here in the garden. But we also like to forage, so I have some clips of those that I'll throw in here.
So today we're out here on this edge of the timber. We've cleaned up the area behind you can't see right now. But yesterday we come in, me and the boys, and we took all the low branches off of this cedar tree over here. And we're gonna keep doing that. We're gonna keep working through these woods going towards the road at the end of our property line, and open these woods up so that we can run these fences through there for pigs or sheep or whatever livestock, so that they can help clean out the rest of the remaining timber over here. Kind of grading the timber off, creating lanes for four-wheelers and bicycles and walk paths and whatnot. So there's a brush pile over here behind me from a year previous. 2 years ago, I come in and started cutting some of the cedars down. They're pretty thick in here. They're not any good in the woods to have. I know some birds eat their seeds and stuff, but they just take up a lot of space, and we don't need them other than for fence posts. So we're going to be getting rid of them, clearing them out, and skirting them, and burning brush today over here in this section. The boys will be helping, and then they'll get bored, so I'll have them start digging holes. So they'll have fun. Bye. What? Why are you guys trying to start a fire here? You already have. Riley, you remember how I told you the leaves go under the sticks at the bottom? That's my stick. Both of these.
We have this giant mullein plant. So pretty, fuzzy. I think it's a biennial, so it'll set a big stalk with yellow flowers on it. Just growing out here in the woods, living its best life. So my husband was up here earlier. Keeping an eye on the sheep that come up here to graze in this back hill overgrown with honeysuckle and other trees. A lot of them are down and need to be burned. And he came along this and he already picked some. But over here on these logs is some chicken of the woods. So we picked some, we're gonna take it inside and we're gonna try it. Not far. From our house, right over there. This is where we find a lot of morels up here as well. I hope you like tagging along with us on our happenings of the last couple days. Exciting stuff happening around the farm. Blessings that have come upon us and we're truly grateful for. But I hope you will come back. Please like, subscribe, share, and we will see you all next time. Thanks for watching. God bless you.
Hi! How was that?